We now welcome to the conversation an amazing lady who's doing the most out there. She's a radio broadcaster. She's a lot of things. So she's an influencer and she loves plowing back. And of course, we want to find out more about her involvement, especially in the community, because I know that satisfies her knowing that she's plowed back. And her name is Tshegofatso Mosadi. Tshegofatso, a very good afternoon and a very warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, Africa at Play. Good afternoon, Neto, and thank you for inviting me. And yeah, how are you guys doing?
We're doing good, we're doing good. You love hiking, you say it's therapy to your soul. Tell us more, you just came from a hiking session, how did it go?
It went well. It is truly therapy. You know, when you're walking in nature, you somehow get to connect. You somehow get to be in your own space, and you're just listening to the birds singing, the fresh air, and just everything that just happens when you're walking. It is just therapy. And I always encourage people, do something that will just give back to you, something that you will be happy and that will fulfill your soul somehow. So hiking, giving back to the community, cycling, those things, those are the things that when I do them, I can smile and sleep peacefully because I know I've done something to make myself happy.
Wow, fantastico. How often do you go for hiking?
I do it twice a month or even 3 times. It's just that because now I stay far, I can't hike as much as I used to. But at least twice a month, I make sure, it's my me time. My girls know that mommy and hiking, you don't disturb. So whatever it is that they have to do, it has to be done before.
I see. No hiking sites in Carltonville?
Not really. They're not there. I'm coming from a very small mining area, and the places that we would go to now because of the zamazamas, it's no longer safe.
Eish.
So I stay away because with hiking, actually just take your time, and you don't want to be thinking of anything negative. So to avoid any dangers, I come through to Pretoria, around Joburg, and Mpumalanga or elsewhere.
You also used to cycle. What happened?
So in 2014, I lost my job and I went back home. So moving back home, I actually moved back with my whole furniture, including my bikes. So housebreaking happened.
Eish.
And that's how I actually lost my bike, and I can't afford another one because you know how expensive. And when you've started with cycling, you know the kind of bike you want, and you can't just settle for anything. So I'd rather hike while I still think of how I can get a new bike.
While you're raising funds for a new bike.
Yep, maybe Africa at Play can give me some.
Hey, yeah, you see, Africa at Play is a premium show. Even guests think we've got it in US dollars here.
Right.
Tell us about your experience as a cyclist.
One thing, and I was even saying today when I was hiking that, the community in hiking, the love, the respect, there's just one community that is there for each other. It's like, when you're watching rugby, when rugby brings everyone together.
Yeah.
That's what cycling does.
Wow.
You meet up with the strangest people, you meet up with black and white, they will greet, we will be going different ways. Good morning, come up, and they'll give you an energy bar. If you're tired, somebody's there to help you out. So it's one big family that stands together as a community, and we just do what we love.
As a cyclist, you put on a lot of work in terms of the actual cycling versus hiking. Do you think you've dropped in the level of fitness since they stole your bike?
I have dropped a lot because with cycling, you work on your whole body, and having to cycle, you need to make sure that you actually fit, because I do trail cycling, so it's in the middle of it's not road, so there's stones and there's so it's difficult. So if you're not fit, you know what, you're not going to enjoy it. But like I'm saying, with the community that we have, it makes it easier. You know, I remember falling because you fall. I mean, I've got a scar that actually shows, you could see the bike, yeah, and then I was on the other side, you know, but for the love of it, you just don't give up.
Wow, for the love of it, you just don't give up. But that's our special guest, Tshegofatso Mosadi, the lady who's doing the most. She's a radio broadcaster, she used to cycle, and she loves hiking, and she's an entrepreneur. All of that after the short break.
So I started doing earrings, and then I said, but I want something that says me, you know, and I just said, why not my name? I'm a blessing to myself and to others. So why don't I just come out and remind everyone, Horibona,
Yeah,
I'm here.
the brand is here.
Yeah.
Fantastico. What do you like so much about Africa?
It's a beautiful country to live in. We know, I've got friends that stay overseas and stuff. They're always complaining about the weather. They're always complaining about humanity. You know, with Africa, we have that and more. Yes, there's corruption. Yes, there's crime. But this is home. This is where the warmth and the love is. When you are out there, it is very difficult because you are on your own. You've got to stand up for yourself. So when you're here, I mean, I'm here today. I don't have to worry who is with my girls. You know, I know somebody's looking after them. I know they've eaten. But when you're outside, Bona, there's no one to look for you. So Africa is where you need to be.
One of your daughters, because now you say my girls, and I only know Oseho, who was sitting on that same chair as our bundle of joy in sport. How is she doing? And tell us about the other girl.
Her name is Amahle Stwepu. She's a 16-year-old, very bright and respectful, beautiful, and she doubted herself so much. You know, when I met her, she used to put on a mask, and apparently she's been doing that since grade 8. So she never removed it, and it was that time of COVID. And when she finally did, and she said to me, Mama, I never believed that I'm beautiful. If you could see her, you would actually fall in love with her. So because of the challenges that she went through, she lost her grandmother at a very young age, and it's always been her and her grand. So grieving process has taken a real toll on her. She's now on medication for depression, but she's very positive about life. She's a very smart little girl. She's in one of the top 10 students, and she's very hard on herself. When she is not doing well at school, she's just, you know, she doesn't want to fail. But I've taught her to start working on herself, not being hard on herself, to start believing in herself, and that it's okay to fail. It does not make you a failure. You just need to keep going, Nana. So she's gradually getting there, you know, because I mean, she's staying with a stranger. She never knew me and Oseho. My mother was a best friend with her grandmother. So that's how she actually came to stay with us. So she's still just learning, but very appreciative of everything that we are doing for her. Yes, we're not perfect. There are days when they are hard because, I mean, she's still learning. But I'm so appreciative of the fact that there's a whole lot of communication that takes place. I'm so proud to sit with my girls and say, what is it that I need to work on? What is it that you need to work on? We do affirmations every single morning, every night, whenever we feel like it. Now my daughter, she's growing, eh? She's now skinny. And now everyone is on some. She's lost so much weight and whatnot. So we have to work on that. Last time she was big, you know, everyone was saying, oh, no, no. And you know, body shaming, we needed to work on that. So I affirm my girls every day. I affirm myself every single day, you know, and that makes it easier that when I'm faced with whatever challenges that comes through, I remind myself, who am I? I am Tshegofatso Mosadi. I'm the brand. I'm beautiful. You know, I'm brave. I'm smart. I'm successful. So those things, you are sending them to the universe, and the universe just give them back to you.
31 Central African Time. You're still tuned in to Africa's premium show, Africa at Play. We're doing this every Saturday and Sunday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central African Time. We've got a special African queen right here, Tshegofatso Mosadi, the lady who does the most out there. Tshegofatso, when last did you speak to your mother?
Yesterday.
Is it?
Yeah.
What kind of a mother is she?
She's a community builder.
Just
She's
like
a
you.
mother.
So you've learned from her? Eh?
Yes, no, a lot of things I've learned from her.
What did
Sometimes
you-
I feel like I just want to learn. But
No? Wow. In terms of looks, do you look alike?
I'm my mother's daughter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no, we're identical. You're actually looking at me and you're looking at my mom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Body, everything.
Yes, it's just that the next but
Oh,
she
yeah.
will tell you Bona, she's forever young.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
just that I'm a bit tiny,
Yeah.
but Bona, I'm my mother's daughter.
Kuko Tandai. What did you guys talk about yesterday?
What were we talking? Oh, there was an order that we were discussing, and then we also had a memorial thingy service that we had to attend. So I was just giving them feedback to say, yo, I wish you guys were there. It was so emotional because I took in a 16-year-old. She lost her grandmother last year. So at the Methodist Church, they have like a memorial service.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so we were there last night, and I was just crying. I'm like, oh, I wish my mother was here.
Yeah.
Because, wow.
She's a supportive mother, eh?
My parents are very supportive.
Yeah?
Extremely supportive.
Wow.
Yeah, we may have our differences, but one thing for sure, my parents do show up for me.
Yeah? So if she's listening to our conversation, what did you like to say to her?
Mama, I love you. I appreciate you. And for everything that you do for me, I'm grateful. May God keep you guys for me because there's still so much I want to do for you guys.
Wow, what a beautiful African story from an African queen. Mama, a very good afternoon and a very warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, everyone.
How are you doing, Mama?
By God's grace, I'm doing well, and hope to hear the same from you.
Wow, lovely stuff. Now we're also doing well. Thank you so much for joining us on Africa at Play. I've got your beautiful daughter in tears. She just don't believe that Mama is on the line with her. What kind of a daughter is Tshegofatso Mosadi?
Tshegofatso is one person who doesn't take no as an answer. He lives in God, and she's always committed in everything she does with the Lord. She trusts, and he knows that God will always help him.
Wow, lovely, lovely stuff.
Yeah. She's always holding tightly without waving to the hope with her hand to God. And she can trust everything. I keep smiling to his promises.
Wow, amazing indeed. Mama is on the line, tears of joy falling. What did you like to say to dear Mama?
Oh, Mama, thank you. Ke a leboga. Ke a le rata. Modimo a mpolokele lona. I will still make you guys proud, and I will never stop. I'll keep going, I'll keep pushing despite of the challenges.
Wow. Mama, thank you so much for making it so special for your dear loving daughter, Tshegofatso Mosadi on Africa at Play. Fantastic. Well, that's the mother to our special guest, the African Queen, Tshegofatso Mosadi. Yay! I'm not even going to ask you, how do you feel about this surprise? But because the tears of joy are falling, I'm forced to ask that question. How do you feel?
I'm grateful.
Ne? Lovely, lovely stuff.
Thank you.
How's your father?
Oh, wait. There's one sweet man, that one.
Ne?
Very strict,
Yeah.
I must say. But like I'm saying, my parents show up for me. Bona, I have no doubt. Whatever it is that I ask, they will try their level best, and they will do it.
You love your name so much. I'm looking at your earrings with a big Tshegofatso.
Yes.
Tell us about those earrings.
Tshegofatso is a brand. Mosadi is a brand.
Oh, yeah?
You know, for you to remember me, you've got to see me. I walk into a room and you can feel my presence. My energy is always just positive. So I'm an artist at heart, and I love identity. I love to be branded.
Wow. On the 8th of March, it was the International Women's Day, which therefore makes March an International Women's Month. What would you like to say to women out there across the entire globe?
Stop calling yourself strong. Be a marshmallow. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Know your worth and love yourself. Stand up and stop feeling sorry for yourself. You've got this. You can do this. Don't be shaken by anything. You are enough.
You are an entrepreneur too. What do you do?
I'm into branding. The earrings that I'm wearing is laser cutting. So I do embroidery, I do laser cutting, I do printing. I started that when I came back home and there was nothing to do. And when I said, brand yourself, so have something that says you. And that's how I grew the love for it, because my little brother started a brand. And then I said, I need to work very hard so we can have equipment, because this is something that he loves. And then we can start doing something together that keeps us going. So that's how I started doing it. And then last year, I registered an NPO due to mental health. So this is where I started doing talks at schools. And also it was inspired by the little girl that I took in, because she realized, oh mama, I'm not the only one who's going through what I'm going through. So I registered an NPO to say, I may not be the psychologist, but let me find those that are in the field to come and help you guys, because the school can only do so much. But if you have someone who says, I can outsource other people, let's do this, let's come up with programs that can help these kids, that can help the parents, let's just make it happen. So I'm still working on it. I had my first event in October because it's Mental Wealth Month. So we're working on it. I do shoe drives every year where I go to a certain school, we do that. We do uniforms, I do soup drives, just to keep encouraging people who are waiting. Let us be the change we want to see. Let us do better and just put a smile, even if it's one person. So that's what I do.
With the kind of love you have for the community, organizing a whole lot of events, including a soup drive, it also requires financial resources, a financial muscle to be able to put it together. How do you get it right? Do you go out requesting for donations, or how do you make certain that your soup drive becomes a success?
I do go out at times, but not everyone is always willing to. So with the shoe drive, there was that special at a certain store, cause I don't know if I can name it, but you have to buy a certain thing and then I think you get a coupon. So that helped a lot. And what I would do, I'll be waiting when people are buying to say, please give me your receipt. That way it makes it easier. I still pay for it, but at least lesser. So, but if they also want to donate, I'll put on my social media, and one person will say, I can give you a pay, and one person says, okay, if you want to do a soup drive, I can put in the bread, or I can put in the soup, and then we just get together and it happens that way. I pray one day I do get serious funding where somebody would be able to just give. But I always say the little that we do goes a long way. So we see how it goes.
Wow, fantastico. As we wrap up this conversation, what would you like to see happening in Carltonville for you to be satisfied in your heart, in your mind, to say, yeah, now I see the community is doing well?
Collaboration is key. You cannot do things on your own. If we can learn to work together, we can achieve so much. So I encourage my people of Carltonville to say we are a very small community, a mining area. If we can just work together, we can achieve so much. So stop trying to be the one that stands out. You know, there is honestly enough pie for everyone. There's enough cake for everyone. But let's work together to make our community to be remembered, or to come back to where it was initially at. At the moment, things are just falling apart. But we keep trying, because at the end of the day, that's where our parents are. If we're going to just leave it,